everybody. This is Moya and
Saran.
Duran, and we are here to talk about Ready to Love. If you are new to the channel, I'm going to ask you to subscribe. I'm going to ask you to click like, and I'm going to ask you to just drop a comment for us, please. Okay? So we want to talk this week about the two episodes that we missed, which would have been last week, which was Meet the Friend of the Guys, and then this week, the first week of the retreat.
hmm
I'm going to let Tehran start because Tehran has a lot to get off his chest.
Okay, so for this week, I am going to say that Cliff Stanton has been just a little bit shady to me.
Just a
In
little bit?
that,
Just a little bit.
it's you know what, just a little bit shady because I really thought that Joy was his really strongest connection, and although he has been saying it out of his mouth, his actions saying it otherwise. Because when he was had the key there, he was kind of avoiding the Kia, and the Kia knew it,
Right.
and she felt very slighted by that, and we all saw that. And even when he had to talk with Joy, he was like, I don't know.
Evasive.
I was like, you
He
don't
was
know, which
not,
means you
he
don't
was
know.
not, yeah, he was not up front and saying, I choose you. And at that point, it's clear
Red flag.
that is a very bright red flag.
Did you have a good time last night?
Had a great time.
Do you feel as though you are technically someone else's connection as well?
Do I feel like it's hindering my connection with you?
No, not hindering, but someone else here feels as though y'all two have a connection.
I mean, I know we all have connections, and I know you have some, I have some, but
There's a difference between connections and chemistry.
some people came out here to, deepen their connection or, get a better understanding of who their connection might be because they may have several.
If we combine that too with the episode that we previously spoke about where he had the jealousy issue, it's just interesting to me that you have this severe jealousy issue over exes and if you do this, X is going to creep in. And then when it's time for you to make your intentions known at a point in which the person that you are interested in has already made her intentions known and you're the only person left for her.
Yeah, I don't know.
It should be a sure thing. It should be yes, without a doubt, no hesitation.
That you're still kind of treading on the water, still kind of right, and still not wanting to say, okay, Takia, I choose Joy, which I feel honestly should have been a conversation before they got there. I think from what Takia was saying is that she was blindsided, not because she didn't know that he and Joy had a connection, but because I think he was leading her on to think that once they got there, they were going to have this time together and they were going to talk and they were going to hang out on the couch and all these things. And then he gets there and he and Joy have a room, like they are at some kind of hotel.
I think where my struggle is just Clifton and I kind of came into this weekend thinking we were going to have some good quality time. We talked about cuddling on the couch. We talked about all these things that we wanted to do and everything. Wow. But instantly, all of that is done.
So something shifted for him.
Definitely shifted.
You just wish he would have had a little bit more transparency before getting here.
That part.
Right.
I don't know, and I have an issue with that too. I feel like that is something you sneak and do. I don't feel that is something that should be openly done, considering that the process is still open. It should still be open. And as much as we do know that Joy is Cliff's strongest connection and her only connection, I don't think that was appropriate for any of them to do in such an open way.
I don't even know whose bag this is.
Whose bag is that? Oh, it's just a random green bag.
Okay.
You figured that out?
I know whose bag that is. I know the smell of it.
You know what I also thought too? I also thought that, Joy has been graciously, saying that, whenever the other persons came around, she'd be like, oh, okay, no problem. I could leave, just the confidence. And I'm wondering, if it could be a plus and it could be a negative too in a way, because obviously Clifton clearly ain't really too sure. And I'm like, what
Joy, could be a plus? Her confidence in letting him talk?
Just a confidence, like, oh, you also want to have a moment together. Okay, cool, fine. Let me go find somewhere else. Right. But then the fact that Clifton isn't so solid or seems not to be so solid in his actions and his movements, it just kind of made me wonder, like, you know what, maybe if you left them alone in a room, they might They might fool around.
So you're still fair game is what you're saying?
We all are fair game.
But there's going to need to come a time where we do lock in.
Correct. Just remember, I can cook too.
I don't know. I felt there was some kind of she was poking a little bit. She was poking, subtly poking. Joy is very good at subtly kind of poking at situations.
How you doing? I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's up, girl? Sweetie, how you doing?
There is nothing I physically have to do to solidify the connection that I have with Clifton.
And I don't know if this is part of her and Carmen's alliance, because there is an alliance between she and Carmen, like I said online, where they're the only two females of the group. I wouldn't say the only two. I think Christina as well, but Christina seems to be moved between both groups, between Carmen and Joy and the other set of ladies. Like, she seems to work with both groups, but Carmen and Joy seem to be the only two that, as females, that hang together with some of the guys, where both of them, Dakia, the guys they were interested in was interested in Dakia. So with Carmen, Eric was interested in Dakia, and then with Joy, Clifton's really only other strong connection was Dakia.
Joy's been my strongest connection, but I learned a lot of new things about Dakia. We have a certain sexual energy as well. I can't even deny that. I don't know what I'm gonna do right now. I guess I gotta figure it out. Cheers.
The continuing conversations and connections. Yes, exactly.
Again, I feel like, I don't know if Tori it's like his presence is not known. There's no aggressiveness or something of the sort, because it's like there is no respect. And I say nigga, no, maybe nigga might be too strong. There is no respect. Like, I don't get it. How is it that the girl you was interested in side by you, then the next one you was interested in don't show up, and then talk about, oh, I'm just gonna take myself with the process. Miss, if you were so all wind, trees, and earth, why you didn't give him a heads up before the date? You knew beforehand that you was coming to a date, or at least call him or answer.
So okay, you're talking about Ace now.
Yeah,
but what was Tori's part in that? I don't think that was on Ace, but what was Tori's part in that?
You mean it? Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, why did Tori even invite her? Knowing that, to me, I felt like Tori, like Paul, who invited Dakia when he ain't never asked to go on a date with Dakia, because Christina stood him up, and he was like, okay, I need somebody else, because I can't look like a punk out here. I need to have two people. Let me call Dakia. You ain't never asked Dakia out on a date.
But don't forget,
you've been on a date with Joy twice. For what reason, I don't know, because you knew from the first date that Joy didn't want you. Right. You went on a date with her twice. Why didn't you go with Dakia on that other date? You understand what I'm saying? So how did Dakia get on your date?
Okay. But don't forget, Ace and Tori it wasn't a strong connection, but they had a connection, whether it was through art or poetry or whatever be the case. So him fighting her there wasn't a foreign line, like, this is my last chance. I don't think so.
No, it was a last chance. Let me tell you why. Because I don't believe that he actively pursued Ace. I believe that he did the bare minimum with Ace, and Ace sensed that. I think that Ace sensed that, and that's why Ace said, I see how you look at Sabrina, and that's how you should look at someone you care for. She already know what it is.
But
go ahead. Go. No, go. Go, because remember I told you last time with them flowers that he brought for Sabrina that he didn't bring for nobody else. See, that could have gotten back to her as well. Oh, because in the deliberation, we may not have heard it on our end, but right. Sabrina may have said, oh, he came and he brought flowers, and Donovan brought flowers, and blah blah blah. And so then the Ace could have felt like, oh, that's nice. Now Ace ain't no hater, so Ace would have been okay. He really likes Sabrina. Let me bow out. She said when they did meet up, she said like, oh, I must have misunderstood. Like, it was almost like he asked her to, but it was implied and it was not written in stone.
Me not being there was not a slight to the awesomeness that is Tori, but I'm sorry if that wasn't clear. I apologize. But I'm just keeping 100 with you. When I see you and how you vibe or look at Sabrina, I see how you look at her. I see what you truly feel for her, and I think it's beautiful.
I don't feel like Tori made any significant effort with any other woman in that show besides Sabrina. Any other woman. I said, so whatever he got, he deserves because of his lack of effort.
what
to me, I already feel about lack of effort when it comes to the men, especially with Demetrius.
I know how you
feel. So with Tori, exactly. So with Tori wasn't making no effort. And to me, it made no sense. It really, even when we factor in this week, and he feeling all like he's still wallowing in this blah blah blah. Why are you still bringing up this truth and dare kiss? Move on, sir. Move on.
But
we don't want to talk about that kiss no more. Okay, she kissed him. Move the hell on, and try and either step out or date someone else.
He ain't built like that because obviously, Christina was like, I was trying to handle him with, fragile, but I was like, fragile. I was like, Jesus.
No, she was trying to handle him
in a fragile like manner.
She did not say fragile.
Yeah, because she knew that it really.
She was trying to be sensitive.
Took him off his game.
I no longer have a romantic connection with Tori. When confronted with a competition, I felt him kind of fall off. I tried my best to handle him with care from that point on, being transparent and honest about where my other relationships were, and we just couldn't get past what happened.
I'm gonna make a point on Ace. Ace, regardless of how much effort he might have made on his part, she knew that obviously was a plan to meet up or to or have lunch or whatever was the case. As a tree of the forest and the earth and the ground, it would have been nice for her to say, you know what, say this over the phone, or at least say beforehand, hey, I cannot. It's just only respect. Even if you felt like I don't make no effort, hey, I don't think this date is to me. Lala Ray Ray, I see the way you look at Sabrina. Not have a whole don't answer the phone, don't show up, and then how many episodes later you want to come about, I see the way you look at Sabrina, and I don't think any love is here for me, and so I'm going to quit sleep out. No, how about that? You should do that before then.
Yeah, I agree.
You need work, man.
I agree, and that may be her. She may have that petty side, but her petty ain't really fully petty. It's like slightly petty. Yeah. Like, cause me, it would have been like, well, you ain't interested in me, so I don't know what you call me on this date for, like, but she was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize, blah 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 blah. What did you think about him calling Ace though in front of Sabrina in the last episode?
Well, I would have probably gotten up and maybe walk away from the table, or I just might not have called at all. I might not have called at all, actually, because she knew where she was supposed to be, like she didn't know. I was just gonna jump just now, but anyway, I won't jump until we reach there. But she knew where she knew it was a date. That's like me that's me plan a date with you, and then I trying to call you after the 30 minutes after time. Like, where is she? You think
Right. I agree with you, but the walking away from the table, he should have excused that. That makes sense too. He should have excused himself. But that would have been another option.
If they don't respect him. They don't respect him.
I don't think it's that they don't respect him either. I think they like him, but I think everybody kind of gets that feeling that he's just scrambling at this point.
Yes. With Tori, I feel like maybe this process is a lot for him. I'm not quite sure, since the truth or dare, that he's quite in this fully.
So if you are in the situation where, like Tori, you are very, very, I guess, one note when it comes to dating, and again, this is my problem with the storytelling of the show, is that we just have no context for why Tori is so strung out on Sabrina, having just met her on the show and having not been on a date with her prior to the Truth and Dare kiss. We never saw her on a date with Demetrius either, to be honest. So the storytelling in this show is really annoying for me because we don't understand no other connection other than Clifton and Joyce. Like, none of the other connections make sense. So it's like, okay, Sabrina is strung out on Demetrius. She's already said he hasn't made any effort, and he still ain't making no effort, because that was a complaint in this episode when they were at the retreat.
I have gone out of my comfort zone to let him know that I like him. I haven't seen him do it nearly as much, and I'm a little tired of it.
I don't like it though.
We only have so much time left, and you're still acting too cool for school. I need you to step it up.
He's nonchalant. He been nonchalant from you met him, sis. But that's what you want. So you went after the nonchalant dude who don't want you. Sabrina, in Tori's case, and I think Sabrina stepped back from Tori to let Tori kind of decide what he wanted to do. And Tori had two choices. Pursue Sabrina like your life depended on it, or pursue another woman like your life depended on it. What he decided to do was kind of wallow in self-pity. Poor me. Sabrina doesn't love me. Sabrina loves all kinds of other people but me. Blah, blah, blah. I'm tired. I'm tired of hearing that. Like the first week when it happened, I was on your side, Tori. I finished with that now. Move along. Move along.
I was like, Tori, Tori never did.
With you keep saying you keep saying that, but
because listen to me,
it's almost like he has two kids, so I don't even know what happened. I don't know how. I'd be curious to know
I'm curious actually how those stories came about actually
how that looked, because like you just so strong on Sabrina, and we saw nothing to tell us why you this dead set on Sabrina.
She got a connection with Demetrius. She got a connection with Donovan. She got a connection with so-called me.
Oh, hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Those for me?
Nah, these for me. That's a lot of damn connections. I ain't got the energy to have 3 connections at once.
Yes, it's too early. Like,
but I just think he's just a selfish man. Just find that. Because guess what? Ain't no way she's gonna do that to me, and I was gonna just be sitting back. Yeah, she might catch me off guard, but in other episodes, first of all, let me just say, I don't understand how these dudes are even moving. Like, you all in a house with all these other girls. If it was me, Moy, I'd have been talking to you. I'd have been talking next. I'd have been making rounds. Like, you only
just. Well, that's what Donovan was doing.
Because Donovan obviously knows the art, but everyone else, Tori just is like, I'm like, dude, you show up there every week, and you and Takia, there's an interest rate there. You want to explore that? Listen to me. You
and that's what I'm saying.
Me.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't explore, and even Takia was saying, "Hey, she looking at him different after that little meeting," and he didn't. Even, he was like, "Oh, you smell good." But he didn't make it doesn't seem to me he made an effort. I mean, we saw Takia go on a date with Paul. Did he ask for a date with Takia and say, well, hey, let's go out, let's figure out each other, whatever.
And I think there is something there. I think that, I'm sure if he's going on the street, but I think there would have been something there. How do you pursue it? How you pursue it? He just look like a dead fish, like. And then when Sabrina was like, I just see his friend, I was like, well, that's it.
Right. Thank you, Lord. Let's move along. And he should have packed up and go at that point. He should have packed up and go at that point.
And he's just sitting there like, my life is ending. I'm like,
he's sitting there and wallowing. Move along. We don't have nothing else. I have no more pity for you. Move along.
Call it like it is. Tori's like, you could have told me about Demetrius. I was so blindsided. Like, it was this huge betrayal. I come to find out he went out of his way to kiss Precious to get me back. It's a turnoff.
Honestly, I'm digging. I like Sabrina's straightforwardness. I know Sabrina, she what she wants, but I feel like she knows to a point of what she doesn't want and what she will accept and what she won't accept. And I feel she's straightforward with that. And I could appreciate that from her. She isn't dependent on, she's Donovan. She's like, you just come out of a relationship like,
yeah. And that makes sense.
What you really want?
Yeah.
It makes sense.
It makes sense.
And I'm like, okay, I could deal with you.
I want a partner. I want someone that's going to have my back. I want someone that's going to grow with me. I want someone that wants to strive to have more.
Right. How long were you by yourself?
I would say about 3-4 months.
So
I could deal with you now.
And I see people online saying like, oh, she's wishy-washy and she's not making a decision and she's finding fault with everybody. But all of her concerns are valid. Now, granted, her kind of need, what has been said, and I also agree with, is that she as well is trying to find herself, and it's almost like she's using this process to get her mojo back. Like, okay, I still got it, because she may have been in a relationship where she was made to feel like she didn't have it. Because people, guys, some relationships, a guy can cut a female down, even if she's attractive or whatever. He can make her feel like she's not whatever. So she may be using this to kind of. Because a couple of people mentioned it too, about how when it started, her confidence wasn't there. Like, she was very nervous. Anytime Tommy came around, it was like this nervous, like she was scared to get voted off, all that kind of stuff.
Sabrina, you done had that look ever since the first elimination.
Yes.
Ooh, I hate when comments show
when you come around, I'm like,
I love her. She has
Okay.
And as it went on, and she have all these interests, now it's like a little cockiness there. It's a little, I got the pick of the litter, and which she does.
Sometimes she just have to be,
And she wants them to fight over her, and she wants them to be vying for her affections, right? So she and Demetrius have that in common. She thinks this the Bachelorette, and he thinks this the Bachelor.
Is there a chance for a new connection?
Absolutely. Like, there is time and space for someone to come in and sweep me off my feet.
So cheers to that. I like that. I like that answer.
I feel like my date with Donovan has been one of the best dates that I've been on. I was like, Sabrina, would you sleep with this man after a few more drinks? I was like, I probably would. Let me just get my ass home.
Ooh, why, thank you, kind sir.
With Takia, I definitely can see that, she is a catch. There's definitely a little sexual tension between Carmen and I, but Sabrina and I are really connected on, so many different levels.
Which brings me to the concern of what happened between Takia and Donovan that was never explained. When whatever happened with her and Eric, I think that was the end of it for Donovan, but I don't understand why, and I have an issue that was never addressed, because prior to that, every time Donovan was asked, in the first at least 3 episodes when Donovan was on, when he was asked, Takia was his choice.
Donovan, you just got here.
Takia, she got an energy around her, man. Like, it's an aura. Like, you just like it's like you just see it. And Takia, she's fun. She's definitely driven, and she's a pretty woman.
And then after that episode, he never mentions Takia's name again, and it's just awkward. Like, it's never mentioned again. And
the show does a poor job.
They don't connect what's happening behind the scenes, because even if his rationale was, I have a little bit of an issue with this, and this, and that's why I kind of want to stay away from that. Say something. It's like how you go from having a connection and then you don't have a connection anymore, right? So
that's probably the editing team. I
don't know if that's the editing or if that's production in terms of we're not getting the story. Because if you come to me, I know for me, if that happened,
okay, the production then.
I would say, well, what happened? You were interested in Takia. You have to address that, because you were going out. You were always calling Takia's name, and just now, like, you're not hearing Takia anymore. It's the same thing with the dates. Bringing us to the dates from last week, as we talked about last week, we had Christina. When she had the ex's date, she invited Paul and she invited Demetrius. But yet the following week, she wasn't on Demetrius' date, and Demetrius does not mention where she is. He does not ask. He does not state. Paul states, well, Christina didn't call, or she called and said she couldn't make it.
Christina, I reached out to her, but she's been evasive. I'm upset she's not here, but we got Carmen coming in.
Demetrius doesn't say a word. Now, it could be Demetrius' pride won't allow him to say she didn't call him back, or he lost interest after he found out she was aggressive or whatever, or she was throwing phone through walls. I don't know. But again, they should have made him articulate why he no longer has Christina in his thoughts, because it was Sabrina and Christina for him. Right? Then we also had Paul and Takia. Say something about why you inviting Takia, because Takia, you ain't never called Takia name ever.
Paul is a man of mysteries, which is part of the issue that I have with Paul. I really didn't get to know the real Paul until very recently.
And that's the strangest thing, that she's on this friend's
some context.
Date. You wasn't on her ex's date. Only Clifton was on that date, but now she's on your friend's date. At the very least, the audience owes an explanation as to why she's on your date, right? Clifton's friend date, I thought that was it was awkward, but it went well for more or less. Takia, Joy played it cool, like, oh, okay, I don't mind. Like, Joy's.
There was something about that date I didn't like.
What?
Because I don't feel like when again, Clifton is showing up just a slight bit, a little wishy-washy.
Indecisive,
but I say ingenuine.
Wishy-washy.
I won't say indecisive. Right, because when Joy left, then he started getting flirty with Takia, and it's like, oh, well, let me drink from you. And I was like, well, why you just didn't do that when she was there? So it's obviously like you trying to get to know Takia, but don't want to do it in front of Joy.
In this process, a lot of times we are separate and we don't necessarily know the intricacies of the connection people are having with one another. This would be interesting to see how deep the connection is.
Joy is already head over heels for Clifton, while Clifton, he's still trying to figure things out. So he's still fair game.
Takia has to say to Clifton some things. Takia needs to ask Clifton questions. I think now at this point, we haven't seen a lot of them probing into each other to get information. It's been a lot of sexual innuendos. It's been a lot of feeding each other.
You mean between those two?
No, I mean in general.
Well, Christina does a good job on that. Not Christina.
Sabrina does
a pretty good job of finding out. Like,
she does to some degree.
Okay.
But most, like for example, Joy knew about Clifton's challenge with the exes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was clearly a conversation they were having privately amongst themselves. Why I don't, when they had the date, that's the time we want to have this conversation. Like whatever these deep conversations are, like let's have these for the audience to know what's behind the scenes, what's going on with the characters. Who are these characters? I think that's where the show falls down. The show does not give us enough information on the participants. Let me use that word. I don't say actors or performers. The participants, so that we can start to kind of put pieces together and understand why connections are being made. I think we know a little bit about Paul, but we really don't know much about him. We don't know if he has kids. We don't know if he's ever been married, although I'm going to assume he's never been married since he was coming for Ace in that first episode. And if he has not been married, has he ever been in a long-term relationship? That kind of thing, we don't know. We know he works. Apparently, he also produces tracks. He produced some stuff for some major hip hop artists. That never came up. That's why someone online on Instagram was saying he should, when the boyfriend asks, well, what do you do? Remember the date with the exes, and he asked him, well, what do you do? And he said he was a software analyst. He should have said, well, I'm a software analyst, but I also do some production, music production, and I've worked with certain artists, so I've been in that environment.
Well,
now again, now I contribute that to editing, but I'm like, why are you editing out what makes sense? Like, what would be the purpose to edit out that he produces? If he said it, if he said, well, I am a software analyst, but I also am a producer. Well, I don't understand why you would edit that out.
That line of work really doesn't faze me. I've been around that, so I know how that goes.
What do you do, Paul?
I am a software analyst.
Yeah. Don't forget Paul's still growing now, because
what do you mean he's still growing?
He's asked some little off the wall questions or make some off the wall statements that just don't connect.
He don't do that no more though. He don't do that no more. He doesn't do that anymore.
I ain't saying that he ain't make a turnaround.
He used to do that. He used to do that with the women he didn't like. But with these women that are left, he don't play with them like that. He don't ask Joy no stupid questions. He asks Carmen no stupid questions. Him and Carmen actually had probably one of the better conversations of any date he's been on, to be honest. That's why I said I can kind of see them two together. Because they actually did have a good conversation. I said I can see them together. I see if they can laugh.
I think she has to for
she there to win the game.
She played it, win the game or get a little, 2 cents, and then for sure. But I don't think actually nobody there for Carmen right now. I think Carmen just a flirt, just one of them little. Oh, I see this girl from across the club. Let me see what she about, and then we just go our separate ways. I don't think it's no like real relationship. Who do I even see it there with? No, I don't see nobody.
I'm wondering. There's I
say Donovan.
I see.
That's what I'm saying.
And it really depends on what you want, right? Let the best woman win, We still have a connection, but I still maybe need to get a little intimate, you know what I'm saying? A little touchy-feely or something to feel where that intimacy really could go.
You see what happens, but my challenge is with the show is not giving us cohesive storylines. Like I said in weeks gone by, giving us all these group dates and not giving us the one-on-one dates that would bring us to the people who are connected. Because like I said, we never saw Demetrius and Sabrina on a date. We've never seen them on a date, like where he planned a date and bring her flowers or whatever it is, or go out and do something fun. We've never seen that.
I just think production needs to get it together because there's no way that your staff found out you have trees and the forest saying
Stop
she
calling this
stepping
woman
out.
Teresa Forrest.
I
Call her
just,
by your name.
I use
Ace.
it. I comparing Ace to like the trees in the forest because those are like peaceful things like the wind, the sun, and like almost like
I
Captain
know what
Planet.
you. I know why you're doing it, but you throw me off when
Um,
you do it.
and then you have Christina not showing up because she's saying she have car problems. I mean, what production is this? Like
Everybody knows she didn't have car problems.
We're about to leave, and then now you want to show up?
What the hell is going on?
It's like you saw a ghost. I feel like I've missed everything.
Their contracts are trash. Their NDA disclosures are trash. And I think that is something that the head producers need to work on, because you cannot have, like, because they talk about the toxicity of this show. I don't think the toxicity of this show in any way compares to the toxicity that is in Married at First Sight, where they literally are married to these people who are toxic as hell for them, like abusive, verbally abusive, whatever. In my estimation, they are pairing them with verbally abusive people who don't have jobs, people who lie in all the time, whatever. That is toxic.
Oh man, like it's actually about to get hot.
Don't be scared to say who you want.
When you give advice, you're giving it for the group.
Wait, I'm making a statement.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
For you to step to this situation, no, I'm so mad. You need to get over yourself. You need to get over yourself.
You know, it's not every day where you find somebody that is totally packaged.
The stuff that they go through on Ready to Love, it's small things. I just feel like as adults who've been through life at 39, 40, 45, them complaining about it being toxic, I think they overdoing it. I think that there are some elements of it that are problematic because they're not being vetted. But the ones who having the problem are the ones who are kind of the problem. Like a lot of times, you know what I mean? It's the ones who ain't committed. It's that kind of thing. Or the woman, like for example, if you're the woman that's poking sport at another woman, you can't talk about no toxicity because you are the toxicity. If you're a guy that isn't in this show you're not looking for love. You're looking to smash, or you're looking to hang out, or you're looking for how many people can come in your DMs because you heard the show will get you a lot of attention from women. You are the toxicity because you ain't here for no genuine purposes. And that's what my issue is that they are complaining about it being toxic or whatever not. But their NDAs are trash, because as bad as MAFS is, Married at First Sight, those you don't hear or see from those people at all during the show, not until their last episode. Then they open up their social media. Then you could follow them, and even after that, their interviews about the show don't have they may do little. You can, like me as a person, I could read between the lines when they throw in little jobs at production. But the outright where these people, the show going on, and they complaining about the production, and they online letting us know this person has checked out, in the case of Christina, which has been revealed online that she checked out, but in the show she hasn't checked out yet. She already promoting a podcast about Walk Away Queen, and the show's still going on. And it's like,
Walk Away Queen.
That's the name of a podcast on Apple and Spotify. But my thing about it is the show's still going on. In the show, you still on the show. What you say? What you say?
Watch today. Anybody care to listen? She ain't even been on long enough.
People, some people, that's what some people say. Like they like, who's Christina?
What are you walking away from? 2 episodes? How much episodes you been on? 2, 3?
But another thing that I wanted to see with this particular episode, when they were at the retreat, it was just them talking. And I at some point I was like, except for Sabrina and Donovan's conversation, everything else was just random conversations. Like Tori and Demetrius, I didn't need that conversation. We didn't need the conversation.
Funny though.
You thought it was funny?
Me and her had a good relationship as well as communication. I think, you know what I'm saying, sometimes y'all just need to sit and talk.
I think we'll figure out what direction we're going to go in when we have that conversation.
Yeah.
I think we're really at a point now in this process to where you should know who your connections are.
Demetrius felt so comfortable, elaborating. It's like, this thing, threat. So I'll just say whatever.
No, I think Demetrius was sparing Tori's feelings. Demetrius didn't really say anything. He could have socked it to him. he could have done some real damage to Tori's self-esteem in that conversation,
Oh
but he
no,
kept it
please
cute.
don't do that, please. He's already having enough time doing that
But
by
I'm
himself.
saying, because you
Yeah.
bring it up to me, I'm like, well, what, he was he actually was very gentle about how he kind of responded to them. But I felt like they should have had activities for them planned to do, like some kind of team building or team activities, as opposed to
Either
them
the
just sitting there
production ain't had
talking,
no money.
huh?
Yeah. Either production ain't had no money. Or I don't know what's going on because everything was done
budget.
for
Yeah, the
homegirl.
budget was
Saying she have
not.
car problem. She coming from everywhere. I thought the idea was everybody reach on the bus together.
No, they don't do
That
that. They come on their own. They've
no,
always kind of moved on their own. Like everybody come in their own car or whatever not. But see,
that's why
then
that
this is
didn't
the
work.
difference. Even when I
Anyway,
reflect on season one had natural drama. Nothing contrived. The drama was there
drama
naturally.
driven.
And the plot was there. They had, at the time, even though none of the connections lasted past the show, there were genuine connections while the show was going on, and you could and there was some like threesomes kind of situation, as you can go this way, you can go that way, and there was a situation just like Dakia and Joy with Shatava and Shay and Mike, where Mike was interested in both Shatava and Shay.
We're going through a process. You can't come and say, you know what, it's the third quarter. In the game right now. We got one more quarter to go.
You want me to sit and go through the process when I cut my process short because I liked you.
Shay, you're amazing.
Don't do that, Shatava.
We are amazing women that can all be friends, that can all grow from this, and can respect a great relationship. And I've learned, I've grown. I was like, no, he's not into Shay, blah, blah, blah. No, he is. And I can't do anything but respect that.
But because it's less women now than men, I think the production wouldn't even allow her to bow out even if she wants to, because of the fact. And I feel that's problematic. Let these people go. Like, it's your fault that they form no connections because y'all wasn't putting them on the dates for them to meet. Because I had to make them go on dates with people, even if they wasn't asking for the dates. And I would have also make them go on the dates with the people that they wanted to go on, just to see if there was a connection. And not food dates, like actual dates where you get to do something and get to know each other, that kind of thing. And so I feel like production has shortchanged themselves.
I just would have liked to have a conversation and not just see it in front of my face.
It hurts. I back in my face is like, damn.
You hearing your comment just now, I really think that she should have not tolerated Clifton's indecisive or Clifton's in and out type of behavior.
What do you think she should have done?
She should have been either one or two things, because I could see Sabrina doing something like this. Putting them on the spot addressing the issue, or go in and find someone else who might be more interested. That's like me saying I'm interested in you, and then when somebody else come around you turn into this, you ignore me, and then when they're in there, you see me. Oh no, I ain't desperate. Right? It looks like I could be desperate. Right. No. I'd put you on the spot and be like, I see how you moving, la way. This ain't gonna work out. Because there's strength in that too,
I think it would make good TV. I think Dakia is too prim and proper. I think Joy makes good TV, and Clifton makes good TV by themselves. I think a lot of the other people, I think Sabrina has good TV moments, but I think a lot of them are decided that are dry. And that was another point I was going to make, that as a producer, if you can give me these bunch of people who may not necessarily be looking for love. Carmen as well did her little part to try to make good TV, even though it was petty stuff.
Yeah.
She played a role, which was, I guess, the villain. I don't know that she played the role, or if that's who she actually is, because I'm getting, for me, based on what she's doing online, the role fits with the persona. But she had a role, but a lot of them are kind of dry. And that's again the difference between the season one people. The season one people was on fire. If they mad, they can come and they gonna approach you, and they brought that energy that was genuine anger or frustration or whatever, but they didn't whatever.
Get out of here. Please get out of here.
Save that. You ain't never messed with no grown woman. And just like the game of baseball, you chose the fastball with me, and you can't.
In your past, you can't
handle the fastball.
See, here we go.
You need to stay in your lane.
You are so quick to judge and check a man instead of checking your own damn.
I ain't got to. What do I need to check myself on?
I've always considered you to be like a strong associate.
I guess the lines are crossed there. I didn't consider you an associate.
We never talk on the phone. We don't do any of that.
But even with that, I don't homie hop. I don't do things like that.
Oh, hell no, I don't do that either. But guess what? I don't call everybody my friend.
There are still boundaries.
Absolutely. I don't feel like I crossed any boundaries.
I just told you what I would have done. And that's just how I move. First of all, who are you? I didn't know I was just your associate. She's downplaying our friendship because some penis is involved.
I wake up happy, I go to sleep happy. Praying and blessed. Happy, excited, for life, another day.
No woman wants to see somebody they really, really like and starting to really care about sitting down with an option.
There's not gonna be any problems? Okay.
Yeah, that's funny to me.
I think Adriana is actually trying to get up under my skin. Adriana broadcasted it to the world. Rashid is her man. That's her boo. Okay, so if that's your boo, then why are you over here straddling? You look unstable.
Keep it cute. Keep it cute. Yep, keep it cute. Y'all messy.
If this process ended right now, who is the one you're going home with? Kyra. Curveball.
I do believe my girl V should be privy to this type of information since she has been going so hard for Joel.
So where you secure at?
And was Kyra your number one?
Hold up, baby. I'm supposed to tell her that. Who in the hell told Amber this any goddamn way? You know what I'm saying?
Takia, like I said, she keeps it cute. Sabrina, for the most part as well, keeps it cute. Christina is fire online, but she keeps it cute in the show. In the show, she doesn't really whatever. So really only Joy was bringing a lot of the personality. Precious when she was there. Laverne when he was there. So all the people with the personality are gone except for Joy and Clifton. So now we have 7 people and they just kind of dry. And then there are no activities. There are no little revelations. Like there's no throwing in some little wrenches. It's kind of just stale. And then we already know nobody else in this group we could see any genuine connection with, except maybe perhaps Sabrina and Demetrius. But at this point now, I feel like Sabrina should have given us some good TV and tell Demetrius but herself. I feel like she tiptoeing around him because I want someone to tell Demetrius but herself.
I need to lead. I need to be in charge of my future, my life. And so the thought of being submissive is foreign to me. I have been nervous about this dynamic with Demetrius because he is such a strong person. And I consider myself to be a pretty strong person too. If this is going to be a problem.
Sabrina's the only one keeping him there. And that's what I was going to say earlier. Demetrius or Donovan was supposed to be in the bottom with Tori. Nobody else called Paul's name. Why was Paul in the bottom? Paul was Paul was, everybody said it was 2 people said Demetrius, 2 people said Donovan, 2 or 3 people said Tori. So Tori should have been there for sure.
Right.
And the other person 2 people called Donovan, Joy and maybe Takia. 2 people called Demetrius, Joy and Takia. In the end, Sabrina said Tori because now they're just friends. And then Tommy said, "Give me another person," and she said Paul. But she was the only person who said Paul. So why was I was like, why Paul? I said, you're better. When I saw them do that, I said, they better not put Paul in the bottom. Not because I like Paul, but because I was like, nobody else called Paul's name. It's literally like y'all force someone to say Paul because none of the other women said Paul. And Paul has 2 women who called his name in their talk.
Nah, it can't be. Might be.
Unfortunately, the ladies have concluded.
Right.
He should not have been in the bottom. He should not. It should have been Demetrius or Donovan. So that is something I saw producer and editing kind of them trying to sway things in the way they wanted to go. And I'm almost feeling as if certain people in the show are protected. And that's Demetrius and that's Donovan. That
Well,
made me
I
feel
ain't gonna,
that
I ain't
made
gonna
me feel
lie.
as if they are almost like whatever deal they made to appear on the show was like they had to be presented a certain way, because I noticed their whole
Okay.
thing is very cultivated. They are not allowed to be seen in a negative light. Like they made Tori look
I
hella
like your
bad.
observations.
Yeah, they made Tori look hella bad. Like
He
really,
made
really
himself look hella
weak.
bad.
Yes, but what I'm saying is the lack of effort of Demetrius,
I know. Yeah.
production should have highlighted that, and they don't. Now people noticing it, even if though it's not been highlighting, but production isn't like making it big. The stuff where, like Tori said about the kidneys, that's something production could have cut out and put in something else that he said, because that was not the
Yeah.
only conversations he had. That was what they chose to show us. Now, of course, it's still on him for saying it, but I'm sure he had other conversations. So it's like Demetrius and Donovan, they are being handled in a way that makes them come off looking really, really, really good. Because
Yeah, I
there's
agree
always
with
been
that.
something with me and Donovan. Like I like he sounds intelligent, but there's something about him that I cannot put my finger on. That is just I don't trust. Now it
Boss.
could be the whole. He just been. I'll say this. He's just been over marriage. He said for 4 months,
Couple
3 months.
months.
What the
Yeah.
hell you doing in there? Like Sabrina's point is valid. Are you sure you finished? Because you just get out of a marriage,
We'll finish.
a marriage where you were cheating.
You just come there to
Can
sleep.
someone ask him why he cheated and what therapy he been to and how because he just seemed to me to be like either he just here for because they were like, oh, we need someone, because like I say, they ain't had all the people. They was like, we need someone, y'all could send us something. And then Phil was like, oh, I got a friend, and then they sent him there, and he just like, and they were like, oh, because boy, when you go on the show, plenty girls could like you and they can come in your inbox. And they said, okay, let me go on. And he pulled out his performance app, and he answered his questions very well, and he's very calm, and he's very controlled and everything. But deep down, this man is not, he should not, he need to go and sow his oats, whatever it was, he was cheating, so go back out there and do what you
You know
do.
what? I think I make good TV. I think I make
You?
good TV. If I was on there, yes, boy.
What you was gonna do?
Huh?
What you
I
was
make
gonna
good
do?
TV.
What you was gonna do?
I was be
Nah, what you
making
was
my
gonna do?
rounds. Huh?
What you was gonna do?
I was be making my rounds. Anybody's be playing me? Playing with me.
Well, you better pray that it would fall how it's supposed to fall, because you can't mock that. But I hear what you're saying. Like you would avail yourself of the opportunities that were presented
Yes,
before you.
I think you make good TV too.
I'm sure I would, but I couldn't do it.
I
As I
sure.
said, I couldn't do
It'd
shows
be a
like
very
this.
interesting dynamic.
No, that was to get voted off from. I to get voted off from
From your
the matches.
beginning.
Because I was a bit, as soon as I walk in, I can rule people out. Bop, 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 bop. And then they can vote me off from at least the second episode, third episode. I just can't
It'd be
sit
like,
down to
no, it's
see
a
that.
mug. It's a mug.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of times the guys on this show every season they come on here to be chased. Very few of them come on here to pursue the women and actively kind of be what man should. I feel man should do is pursue. They come on there and they want to be chased, and they don't really date. They don't really, whatever the case may be, and that was gonna rub me the wrong way.
Like, what's the ultimate goal? Do you want to just have a life partner, or do you want a wife? It's really yes or no.
I think they're interchangeable. I mean, some people don't even believe in marriage.
What do you want, though?
I can do either one. We can call it whatever you want.
Well, I want a husband. Let me just go ahead and put that on. Let me go ahead and put that on the ping pong table right now.
Tiffany put the ball down, the paddle down, and that was a little bit of negative energy for me.
Demetrius grabs me and pulls me to the side. I am honestly shocked. This is out of the norm. He usually doesn't do anything like this. He's usually kind of like a come to me kind of guy.
I should have invited you out earlier from now. Like, how we get to here where we had all this time pass and we just not seeing each other?
You?
Really?
Yeah, because you give me this arrogant feel. You come off like, okay, I'm AJ. I know I look good. I don't really have to work hard to get a girl.
A lot of times confidence can be mistaken as arrogance. So basically what I'm hearing is you don't think that I work and you want me to work. And that's the reason why you've been, okay, got it.
So how do you feel the process has been going so far for you?
I want to make sure that I'm putting my energy where it's being properly received.
Are you making your intentions known?
I am.
Okay. I think if you're interested in someone, you need to be very clear. Like you give us the wily eye, but if you're not giving that romance side, it kind of turns into the friend vibe.
They need a budget. I think that's what it is. Their budget. They are not.
Or maybe they just need money.
That's budget. That's the budget. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the budget. On that note, we will wrap right now. And we will see you next week for I don't even remember the name of the show. Ready to Love.
Ready to Love.
We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.